So I don't know how it happened, but I have yet to make a video about The Boys. And the other day, this popped up on my YouTube browse feed.
I'm the best at ever doing, y'all crazy. Make way or you're pushing up daisies.
So I wanted to dedicate this video to the only reason I watch Prime Video. Because let's be honest, before this show, the only reason I had Prime was always for the shipping. But then Bezos went and made a studio that birthed this fantastic show. From Eric Kripke came the show based on comics created by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson, The Boys. Did you know that The Boys comics were almost canceled at the beginning of their run? That's right, when its 6th issue dropped on January 24th, 2017, it was canceled. You see, an imprint of DC Comics called Wildstorm published The Boys comics. Then abruptly, Wildstorm was disbanded. Fast forward a few months and an independent company called Dynamite Entertainment picks it back up. It then ran for 66 more issues. So maybe canceling it wasn't the best idea. But this video isn't about the comics. We're talking about the show. And today I want to answer the question, why does The Boys work? In a world where super do-gooder media dominates the box office, why is a show about evil superheroes so popular? In this video, we're discussing The Boys. I want to discuss my thoughts on the show, how I got invested in the story, what I think The Boys gets right, how I feel it could improve in some areas, and at the end of this, I'll do my best to answer the question, why does it work? Y'all ready? Let's do this. What hooked me? From the starting scene, we immediately know this show isn't your average superhero show. We get a poster from an upcoming movie for one of the superheroes who are in this show. Then we get two kids talking about which superhero could beat up the other, before seeing Queen Maeve and Homelander very recklessly stop some robbers from stealing an armored truck. Then, since Homelander is basically a child, we'll get to that, he thoroughly enjoys the attention he receives for stopping the robbers. But I still wasn't into the story yet. It took me a few more scenes before I was hooked. Do you want to know what got me? Okay, I'll tell you.
The Smurge Billy.
This right here is what did it for me. It happened so abruptly, without any warning, and damn, it gets me every time. Even after rewatching it for this video, I expected it, and it still messed me up. Anyway, this takes our main character Huey on a journey. He eventually meets Billy Butcher. Billy shows Huey how supes act when no one is watching, and since Huey has a vendetta, he agrees to join Billy's fight. This leads to all sorts of shenanigans throughout the series, which for the sake of time I'm not going to dive into all the details, just some specific plot points. Homelander. What if Superman was a sociopath with an Oedipus complex? Watch The Boys and find out. You know how I compared Homelander to a child earlier? That's because that's how he's portrayed. From getting jealous of the attention a baby receives, to fantasizing about laying with his only mother figure, there is no doubt this man has some issues. But he's more powerful than most other living beings, so how do you keep him from killing everyone in a fit of rage? Give him the one thing he desires more than anything else, admiration. To me, The Boys works because it flips our perception of what superheroes are supposed to be on its head. Hollywood has this way of turning beloved villains into anti-heroes. Look at Venom, or even Cruella de Vil got the treatment. My point is, this show works because we aren't forced to sympathize with the supes when they do awful things. Aw man, here I go again talking about meta commentary. The Boys has this way of pointing out real world things we deal with in our own culture. How many brands become woke when it serves their ultimate agenda? Look at the way Queen Maeve is treated in season 2. From the moment Vought finds out she is bi, they immediately try to capitalize on it.
I'm gay.
Many brands do this exact thing in the real world, and I find it fascinating when it's pointed out in media. Because the brands putting the shows out, Amazon in this case, are just as guilty of doing stuff like this. It's like they're acknowledging it, so it makes it okay. Only, it doesn't. In my opinion, if you're going to point out the flaws in our culture, you should at least stop doing the things you're pointing out. But that's not how America works, so I doubt it will come to that. Shoot, we're getting off topic. Why it works. The Boys works for a lot of reasons, a few of which I've already listed in this video. Their handling of setup and payoff tends to be some of the best TV out right now. But most of all, the way The Boys makes us look at ourselves and our own culture is pretty impressive. Sure, it looks at the world of superheroes through a cynical lens, but how is that different from our reality? I am willing to bet if Superman were a real person, if we had a creature that was all-powerful living on Earth, do you really think they'd just be a superhero that saves humanity? I don't. I think they'd be at the top of the food chain. Maybe they won't want to fuck their mom like Homelander, but I really don't think the concept of an all-good man that saves us is realistic in the world we live in. And I feel this show genuinely shows what would happen if this was real. The superhero media we consume today may not be about real life, but to you, the viewer, I pose this question. If a character like Homelander, or even Superman for that matter, existed, do you think they would be an all-good hero like comics usually try to make us believe? Or do you think they'd be less of a savior and more of a ruler? That is all I've got for you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and tap the bell. I'm out of here. Peace!